Hi, Sandra Wilson here, clinical hypnotherapist. So I thought I would come on today and just talk a little bit about how I work. And I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, as I've just said. Now, many people don't really understand what hypnotherapy actually is and what it does. And it's quite difficult to explain really simply. But the one thing I will say is it is nothing like the type of hypnosis that you see on a stage. So in a clinical setting, it really doesn't look like a stage show at all. So how can hypnotherapy actually help with a condition like rejection sensitivity or rejection sensitive dysphoria? So do you ever feel like even the smallest criticism or rejection cuts you so deeply that it feels pretty unbearable, very painful? And that intense emotional pain may be a symptom of this rejection sensitive dysphoria, and you are not alone. So RSD is often linked with ADHD and other forms of neurodiversity. And it can feel like you're constantly walking on edge, fearing rejection, doubting yourself, and it's strongly linked with people pleasing as well. So other people don't always notice it, like many symptoms of ADHD in women are invisible. So this is where hypnotherapy can make a big difference. And it's a little bit different from standard talking therapies, because what we do in this type of therapy is work with the subconscious mind. That is everything that you are not consciously aware of in this moment. So I tend to help my clients by talking to them in greater depth about how the condition affects them and what they would like to have in their lives instead. And then once we've established goals and we've talked a little bit about what the root of the problem might be, and we focus a little more on what life might be like without the problem, I then guide you into a deeply relaxed, focused state. It almost feels a bit like that stage of sleep just before you actually go to sleep. It's very soft, very gentle, and it can feel a little bit like a daydream. So in this safe, supportive space, your mind just becomes a little bit more open to new ways of thinking and responding. And together we can soften the emotional intensity of rejection triggers. We can reframe negative thought patterns, and we can strengthen your self-esteem, your self-worth and your confidence, and also help you to build resilience so you no longer feel completely ruled by other people's opinions of you. Now, chances are, even if it is a symptom of ADHD, at some point you would have learned a lot of unhelpful messages about yourself. And did you know that people with ADHD are often criticised so many millions of more times, so many more times than your average neurotypical child? So it isn't any wonder why this negative emotional conditioning can give rise to a condition like RSD. So my clients often tell me that after a session they feel calm, empowered, and even free to go and live their lives the way they want to, without being trapped in a prison of fear of what other people think of them. And if you think about your day-to-day life and the things that you don't do, even though you want to do them, because you're too scared of being judged and terrified of being rejected. So over time you'll start to notice more space between a trigger and your emotional response, which is basically your nervous system going into fight or flight. And instead of spiraling, you'll feel steadier, more balanced, and a little bit more in control. so you'll have more of an opportunity to respond in the way you would choose rather than react from a place of fear. So hypnotherapy isn't necessarily about changing who you are. It really isn't. It's more about helping you to connect with your inner strength, so rejection no longer defines you. And if you're ready to feel calmer, more confident, and less weighed down by rejection sensitivity, I would love to support you. So if you are interested in speaking to me, and I do offer free consultations, just send me a DM. You don't need to do anything more. There's no obligation, but I think once we have had a chat, then you'll be in a better position to understand a little bit more about how I can help and moving forward into your life with greater confidence and positivity. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.